What's good, everybody? Wanted to do a ranking on the Kendrick Lamar albums. My allergies is kind of messed up right now, so I might sound a little bit congested, but I did want to get this video out. I have been kind of just re-listening back through a lot of Kendrick stuff since that whole beef with Drake, and wanted to just kind of go over his albums. Which, up front, I don't think he really has a bad album, so it won't be anything below like B on here. I'm not gonna do the Black Panther soundtrack just because I'm not doing like the movie soundtracks. I just want to do albums that he made just for himself to release just his music out. Just gonna go in chronological order. So overly dedicated. I feel like this is really not bad. Even being his first album, it could probably be A, or I might put it in B just because I feel like he's expanded so much beyond what this album was. So it's not really any knock against this album or any negative thing towards this album. More so, it's actually positive to just how much he's grown, as a musician since this. Next would be Section 80, which I actually feel like this is super underrated. I would definitely give this an A. There's a lot of good songs on there, a lot of good stories, just messages throughout the whole thing. I actually really like that album. I still go back and listen to that quite often. And from there, we have, in my opinion, this may be an unpopular opinion. A lot of people have this, this one as the best here, but bro, Good Kid, Mad City, that's absolutely my favorite album by him. That might be my favorite album, just period, in the world. But man, perfect blend of storytelling, but also having really good replayable songs. The Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst. It's a 12-minute song, but man, I listen to the whole 12 minutes every time. Just the storyline, what this album does, I love it, bro. It's super relatable too. Just growing up, having a lot of influences for, other things, less than good things, but staying level-headed, being focused on like school, faith, etc. I've always really related to that album. It speaks to me a lot. And then from there we got To Pimp a Butterfly, which I'd still put this in S. Good Kid, Mad City. It's still above it for me personally. I do think on this album is where it kind of started to have the theme of, the message maybe over the music, like making just like a super replayable or super good sounding song. But there's still a lot of good songs on here that you can listen to, replay it. You can have some of these songs in here you just play in the car. Mortal Man, I do love that song. That's probably my favorite song on the whole thing. And even with some of the songs being less just like sonically pleasing, just the overall message and how the whole album ties together, I feel like it's worthy of the S tier, bro. And then from here, well, I guess next actually is Untitled Unmastered, which this one definitely has some good, kind of storytelling in it. Still good music. It's definitely meant to not be, this huge art piece like some of the other albums are. Kind of just something to get some extra music out there for the fans, honestly. I don't think it's bad, though. I would put this in B, or you can maybe do super light A. Next, we got this, and this is kind of an interesting album. I want to put it in S. I'll explain why. Very different from the last one in that this is actually a lot of the beats and production on here is more of like replayable. It's more like the bangers, type music like that. Stuff you could hear on the radio or just kind of play in the car and vibe to it. But there's still a lot of good messages and good storytelling on here. Duckworth, love that song. A lot of the songs on there, very descriptive lyrics. Just man, really locking in and listening to Kendrick Lamar and analyzing the lyrics, man. Something I love to do. That guy he's incredible with his words, for real. So I'll put that in S. It may not have the same impact as these other two, but it's still really good in my opinion. And then we've got the Mr. Moran, the Big Steppers album, which, you know, this kind of had mixed reviews. Infamously, on that last Eminem album, there's a part on there where he's speaking from like the perspective of fans, which a lot of people took out of context and thought he was actually dissing Kendrick. But he's saying, you know, fans are like, the album was cool, but it didn't have any bangers, which is kind of a way to describe the album. This was a much more personal album, a lot more focused on just the stories, personal stories for Kendrick Lamar himself. There's still some good songs on it though that I think are replayable. There's less focus on having replayable or like songs you can just kind of listen to it and relax, like stuff you can just play in the car, you know, just driving around, just hanging out. But like the "Count Me Out" song, man, I love that song. Father Time. There's still a lot of good songs on there to me, even if some of them aren't like, you know, they just slap or it's like a banger song. I don't think that every album has to have like bangers or just, I don't know, songs you can play in the club to be like a good album. And on the other hand, I don't think every album has to have super impactful or every song has to have like a deep message to be a good album either. I think it would still be an A. I think it's still solid. There's songs on there just from like a artist perspective that it's just conceptually impressive. Like this, I can't remember what the song is called, but there's a song that's literally just an argument between a guy and a girl. And it's kind of impressive how he made that into a song. But I will be honest, I've never listened to that song again. It's not super pleasant to hear it over again. But it's like from the art perspective, it's just really cool. He was able to make that into a song, make everything rhyme, and make it be like a conversation turned into music. But that would be my ranking, guys. Like I said, I don't think Kendrick has any bad album. My favorite one, absolutely, is Good Kid, Mad City. Let me know what you guys think. What would your ranking be? What's your favorite album by him? Like the video if you liked it. Please subscribe. Still trying to get the subscribers up. Aiming for 200. Appreciate everybody for watching. Thanks.